Thank you very much for that introduction, Neil. Ladies, gentlemen, distinguished guests. I suspect there is probably no more redundant task than introducing the Honourable William Jefferson Clinton to an Irish or an Irish-American audience because, of course, no introduction is required. But I am truly honoured to say these few words today because no recipient could be more deserving of the Lifetime Achievement Award. And it is all the more resonant and meaningful for being conferred in this momentous year as we commemorate the centenary of 1916. Like Neil, I returned just yesterday from the centenary celebrations in Dublin, which were moving and dignified and appropriately reflected the pride of a nation. The themes of the commemoration, remember, reconcile, reimagine, are ones that chime precisely with Bill Clinton's own involvement on our island. And indeed, a very happy chord was struck on the first day of my visit last Thursday. I was accompanying a US congressional delegation, and one of our calls was on the Ceann Comhairle, the newly appointed Speaker of the Irish Parliament. And as we entered the beautiful entrance hall of Leinster House, the seat of the Oireachtas, the Irish Parliament, the first thing the Speaker did was to point very proudly to a photograph of President Bill Clinton addressing a joint session of the Irish Parliament, the Oireachtas, on the 1st of December 1995. Today, we are honouring the former President's central and catalytic role in the peace process in Northern Ireland. But in a world so fraught with strife and instability, we are also recognising the qualities that are at the very heart of peacemaking and peace building. I would suggest three qualities in particular defined Bill Clinton's approach. The first is leadership. It was not at all obvious that a former governor from Arkansas, on becoming president, would prioritise Northern Ireland. On arrival in the White House, there were so many other claims on his attention. There were also many who advised that Northern Ireland as a cause was hopeless or thankless or even, in the view of some, inappropriate. But the President grasped the potential and was ready to take a calculated risk. He had also made a campaign promise. In the Irish language, there is an ancient and honoured rallying cry, Bart the rare or Briher, action in accordance with our words. Bill Clinton exemplified that, when he might easily have found a rationale to do otherwise. The second quality is engagement, hands-on, up close and personal. There were two mutually reinforcing elements at work here: the President's passion and his extraordinary grasp of nuance and detail. There were the public moments, hugely symbolic and meaningful, and the private moments of empathy and encouragement. In those dark midwinter days of 1995, we had the first ever visit by a sitting American president to Northern Ireland. No one who witnessed those extraordinary scenes in Belfast and Derry will ever forget them. The symbolic switching on of the Christmas tree lights, the bonding with the huge crowds, communicating so urgently the belief in a better future. And all the countless private moments, empathizing with and comforting the victims, encouraging the actors from all sides, willing them on, cheering them on, combining the power and prestige of the Oval Office with the personal warmth and persuasive skills of the man who held the office. Bill Clinton gave us the great gift of George Mitchell as personal envoy. But much more than that, he was always there at the end of a telephone line, and never more so than those final fateful 24 hours leading to the Good Friday Agreement, when he stayed up all night to help push things over the line. And the third quality, persistence, sticking with it, knowing that peace building takes time and patience, that the spark once kindled has to be nurtured, that long after the media caravan has moved on, lives have to be painfully rebuilt and hope and vision sustained. Bill Clinton simply never let up. He visited our island 3 times while in office. And in March 2014, almost 20 years later, he was back there in Northern Ireland, walking the Peace Bridge with John Hume in Derry. Always, always entreating the politicians from all sides, finish the job, finish the job. Throughout the years since leaving presidential office, his door has always been open for counsel, encouragement, and again, that urgent insistence to all of us, finish the job. I mentioned a moment ago the visit to Dublin with the congressional delegation this past weekend and our encounter with the Ceann Comhairle on the first day of the visit. My last engagement with the delegation was the state reception in Dublin Castle on Sunday evening. And there we were in St. Patrick's Hall in the state apartment, some of us chatting, and a former minister there was reminiscing about the state dinner that had been held for President Bill Clinton during his visit in December '95 in that hall. And she recalled that one of the most moving moments of the evening, after the president had spoken and reflecting the president's speech, was when an Irish tenor sang, "You'll never walk alone." And that too has been a promise kept. In all the 20 intervening years, we know indeed that we have never walked alone. And so today, we want to express our thanks. We want to recognise Bill Clinton's work on our island as one of the proudest achievements of his presidency. And in a world so desperately in need of peacemakers and peace builders, we want to recognise the qualities it takes, the qualities which Bill Clinton has demonstrated so compellingly. And so please join me now in welcoming to the podium the Honourable William Jefferson Clinton, recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award.